And here we are, switching out a button. I have one that's sticking a little bit. It's this one back up in here. You can't really see it, but it's this one. So it's my player 1 button, what is that, 4? So it's just the button itself is sticking a little bit. I do have classic RGB LED push buttons from Ultimarc. This is what they look like when you have them out and about. Oops. Yes, this is a rat's nest down underneath here. Sorry, I'm hitting my camera. You guys are puking. But so this one is nice and clean. This other one's sticking a little bit. I think someone had some grubby fingers on it. So there are these leaf switches that I'm going to end up reusing, so I don't have to rewire any of that. You do have to pay attention to where this wire here is running, because that's the RGB wire. So I'm going to have to undo this nest here, and then I'm going to replace it with this one here and make sure that it's plugged in the right spot. So on my pack leg, let me show you kind of where that's at. That's right down right there. Pack leg 64. So all right, let me get this thing back up in here. All right, I think that's good. So just wanted to take a moment to kind of go through it real quick. Also, I do have this, it's like a socket that we'll use to put the nut on, because you don't necessarily need to over tighten it, but it is hard to fit in there sometimes. Get your fat fingers in. So let me just undo some of this stuff. I don't want to undo all of it because then I gotta just a even bigger mess in here. So I'm just isolating this one that I know I need to pull out of here. And take your time. Make sure you know exactly where these things are going, because if you do it wrong, you're hosed. Of course, it's going to be right in line with where there's going to be a missing spot here. So that's going to be C3, 1, 2, and 3, plus 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I'm going to take this one just to double check. You want to make sure you don't blow up your board, so go nice and slow. There's that. Let me see if this is correct. Oh, it is correct. Look at that. Money. All right, so now let's go and undo some of these. Again, this is the button I want. There's no problem in double and triple checking just to make sure. All right, so this is the ground. Mine's an older machine, so he made everything kind of tight. As you can see, my panel doesn't even have hinges on it, and it doesn't flip. So some of the other panels, you know, they flip forward, but mine does not. My panel is totally off. So when I unscrew the 2 screws holding it down, the whole panel can just come off, which in theory sounds awesome, but is not so much awesome when you're actually trying to work in here. So let me see. You want to be careful too and not yank any of these cords out. So take your time. Actually, I don't have to undo these. I'm just going to undo the actual switch. Aha! Genius. So you don't have to undo the wires when the switch is going to stay the same. So let me see about unsnapping this bad boy. You can do it. There we are. Nice, as my buddy Horton would say. Okay, so that's all I need to do is pull that out of there. Now I have this wire isolated. The hardest thing about putting these back together, and I'll kind of point it out when we're doing it, is making sure that you don't pinch these wires when you put the actual switch back in. Switch still feels really good. It's just this button. So I'm gonna have to fish this through here, right? Get this around. Get this around. Do I have to spin this other one out of our way? Maybe. I don't think so though. I think we're gonna make it. There we are. Okay, out of the way, out of the way. Where are you at? Where are you at? Where you at, fool? Oh, there it is. All right, then we're gonna untwist her just to get it close. Don't want to start tweaking with too much stuff here, right? Come on, you. Get out of there. This is when you accidentally disconnect a wire and you're like, oh man, my button doesn't work now. Cool. All right. So now it's loose. I can get my fat finger in there. Slide this bad boy off. And here it is out. I make it a point to clean underneath the button. Yeah, see this one sticks a little bit. I make it a point to clean underneath the buttons when I have them out, just because you don't normally get underneath it. So if you wanted to swap out your buttons, these are not gold leafs like Arcade Adam likes. These ones I had purchased before Arcade Adam told me that I should have bought gold leafs. So I got the classic RGB buttons from Ultimarc. I figured they were more expensive, so they'd be better. Not necessarily the case. And so here's my new one, sexy. So I paying attention to which orientation it went in. So fish the wire. And now my button action, and that's about the same orientation we had there. Slide this bad boy on there. Again, nothing wrong with that button except for it was just a little more sticky than I wanted. I have a couple of extras just because that's how I roll. So slide this bad boy back on here. And these don't need to be over tightened, just so you're aware. Like, you don't need to use anything super hard outside of just your hand grip, usually. You start over tightening things, that's when you start breaking stuff, because plastic does not like to be over tightened. So let's see, get on there. Nope. I'm trying to hold my button in place so it doesn't rotate too much. There we go. I think we're good. Yep, we're gonna go like that. Go like this. Bam, new button in place. Take this back over this way just a second. Okay, then again, this is that spot. So you'll notice a little tiny groove over here. I don't know if you can really see it, but right back in here in the plastic, right into here, there's a little groove in the plastic. See that? The little notch? That's where you have to get these wires to sit into so that they don't become pinched. So I'm gonna snap this side back on here. And then this one, roll it down. You can do it. Oops, careful. You can do it, you can do it. Maybe I'll do this front piece first and then slide that back one on, because I think that's how it came off. See, yeah, there's just no, look at how tight that red wire is. So you got to be really careful so you're not pulling anything too far, because that's when you get into trouble. There we are. Make sure my wires are good. Yep, feels all right. Come on, you. Oh, for Pete's sake. What did Pete have to do with it? I know, I know. There we are. Boom. First one. Actually, that's not the way I did it. I did it the other direction, didn't I? I was right the first time. Okay, so let's go and do it this way again. Connect, snap. Snap this one down. All right, wires are free into the trough. Cool. All right, that's it. Now, I don't like how that is though, so I think I'm gonna try and rotate it just a little bit. There we go. Nice, because that was a little bit too tight there. All right, I think that's gonna be it. Cool. All right, well, I hope that helped a little bit. I'm just gonna connect this back where I pulled it, and we should be good to go. Later.